Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend, and my weekend was just made complete by the announcement from Nintendo that the Nintendo Direct is happening today. 2 hours after this video goes up, there will be a Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase, literally just announced on their Twitter at about midnight Eastern Standard Time. And this is super exciting. A lot of people were telling me, no, it's not going to happen. They're not announcing it. But, you know, the sources that I choose to report on, I carefully vet them. And when I reported that the Nintendo Direct was happening in March, it's the only other time I've done it, that also ended up being correct. That was from Jeff Grubb and Kelios. This time, the source was not Jeff Grubb, the source was Kelios, and it ended up being correct. I'm very happy about this. Now, a partner showcase, what does that mean? Well, according to Nintendo's tweet, it says, we will share a few updates on a small group of previously announced Nintendo Switch games in a series focused on titles from our development and publishing partners. Now, that does not sound like a direct where we're going to get Mario remasters announced or more info on Breath of the Wild 2, but that can be deceiving because it's very possible that some of Nintendo's publishing partners and development partners have been delegated to work on things like remasters of much older games. So really anything could happen. I will be live streaming the Direct when it happens today, and there will be another video tonight with all my thoughts on the Direct. I've also reached out to Kelios on Twitter. He has responded to me and he has expressed some interest in letting me interview him on the channel. Of course, I would want to know things like, you know, when he knew this was going to happen, as much information as he could possibly give us about his sources. But the most important thing I want to show everyone is that this is a human being. And when the Direct was not announced until last night, or technically very early this morning, people were giving Kelios so much hate and were being extremely toxic. And I know that a lot of people think that that's just part of the gaming community, but I know for a fact that we are better than that. I see on channels all the time people rallying and supporting each other. And I really, whether the Direct was going to happen today or not, I was going to talk about Kelios and how we should all go, give him some love, give him some support. I'm sure if I were him, I would probably never leak anything ever again, even if I 100% knew it was going to happen. But that said, at the end of the day, Kelios, not only is he a person, but he was right. So please, please be sure to give Kelios some love. What do you think is going to happen in the Direct today? I know there's only going to be 2 hours before the Direct actually happens after this video comes out. I might release this video a little earlier than I normally would for that reason. But yeah, this is huge. Zelda, Metroid, Mario, Bravely Default 2 is going to come out. I mean, Square Enix is definitely a partner of Nintendo. Octopath Traveler was an exclusive for a very long time. So this is quite exciting to see. I've been reporting this on my channel for about 3 weeks now. Please smash that like button for me. Now that the Direct is actually here and this ended up being confirmed by Nintendo, please consider subscribing to the channel. And let's get into some more really exciting news, some more new games that have been revealed for the Nintendo Switch. Next up in the news, a leaker that also, along with Kelios, correctly predicted the last Nintendo Direct, although he's been silent on this one, leaked a new game that was going to be coming to the Nintendo Switch from EA. EA, during their presentation, announced they'd be bringing 7 new games to the Nintendo Switch, and Jeff Grubb said one of them was going to be a port of Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. The reason I'm bringing this up today is because an online retailer in Australia and New Zealand, Mighty Ape, actually just posted a listing for Need for Speed Hot Pursuit for the Nintendo Switch. They posted it for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. And there's no release date on the website. However, it does give you the ability to pre-order it right now, which is very interesting. What makes this extra exciting for me is that some of the other games that Jeff Grubb mentioned are probably going to be on the way soon, and that includes the Mass Effect trilogy, which would be huge, as well as a Switch version of Plants vs. Zombies: Battle for Neighborville. There's also going to be an Xbox Games showcase taking place this week on July 23rd. That might be a good place where a remaster of some of these EA games could be announced. It was teased that there would be world premieres at this Xbox event, so some new games are going to get announced, and hopefully some of those games will be coming to Nintendo Switch. Speaking of third-party Nintendo Switch games, as we all know, Crysis Remastered is going to be launching on Nintendo Switch soon, and we've got a look at some of the gameplay, which you're seeing right now, and the game looks great. It is a remastered version of the original Crysis, and while the Nintendo Switch version, I'm sure, will be the worst looking of the bunch, the fact is, it looks good. It's the only way to play Crysis portably, and it plays well. It's kind of as reminiscent of when Doom came out on the Nintendo Switch, how well that port worked. It's amazing how some of these Switch games that get ported over run terribly. Games that aren't even that demanding, like SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, but then you've got these much more graphically intense games like Crysis Remastered and Doom that end up being ported over and working really, really well. So this is great news for Nintendo Switch fans that were interested in picking up Crysis Remastered. Next up in the news, of course, there's some more news for Pokemon Sword and Shield. There has been another leaked item found in the code by data miners that is apparently going to be coming in the Crown Tundra update. And this item is extremely exciting because it's literally an item that you can give to your Pokemon and it will automatically switch its ability to its hidden ability. Ability capsules have always been a thing in the game, and that lets you change back and forth between two normal abilities. But up until now, there's never been a way to take a Pokemon that has a normal ability and give it a hidden ability. Take this with a grain of salt because, you know, there's always a possibility that these leaks might not be true. There's definitely different ways to mod the game and make these things appear to be true. And also, Game Freak could alter the code or change things around before the DLC comes out. However, if true, this is going to save competitive players a lot of hassle of trying to get Pokemon with hidden abilities to use for building their teams. If you look right next to me while I'm saying this, there's actually video of someone using this item to change a Pokemon's ability to the hidden ability, and there's also been confirmed that it does work on legendaries as well. So really exciting item and really great news for Pokemon fans. Speaking of Pokemon Sword and Shield, this weekend there was a 2% chance of finding a shiny Wailord in max raid battles, and that event has ended as of today. However, we do have some more information from Cerebi on what the next raid event is going to be. Unfortunately, it looks like no shinies this time. It looks like the promoted Pokemon in raids from now until July 31st are going to be Pokemon from the Onix, Rhyhorn, Roly-Coly, Cufant, and Galarian Meowth evolutionary line. So that means all those Pokemon plus their evolutions. There's also going to be promoted Gigantamax, Colossal, and Copperajah raids. So this next story is so cool, and it has to do with Animal Crossing New Horizons. So in Taiwan, someone accidentally left their Nintendo Switch at an ATM. Luckily, the person who found it turned it into the police. But where it gets really cool is the police had no idea how to track down the person who owned this Nintendo Switch. So what the police did was they logged into the person's Animal Crossing game and sent mail in Animal Crossing to the person's friends and trying to figure out who this person was. And eventually one of the friends responded with a letter in the game letting the police know who the Switch belonged to and got the police this individual's information, and that way the police were able to return the Nintendo Switch to its rightful owner. That is just so cool. Props to that police department for thinking outside the box like that, actually using the in-game mail system to figure out the owner of this Nintendo Switch. I saw that and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. Speaking of Animal Crossing, it has long been the #1 bestseller on the Switch's eShop since it came out. It was dethroned for like a day by Clubhouse Games and also by Minecraft Dungeons, but then it reclaimed its #1 spot, has been sitting there comfortably, but it has been dethroned, and by what else other than Paper Mario the Origami King. Paper Mario the Origami King right now has an 81 critic review score on Metacritic. However, the user scores are not in yet, as Metacritic is using a new tactic where they are not allowing any new games to have user reviews submitted until the game has been out for at least 3 days. So that should be today. So we should at some point today be able to start seeing the user scores for Paper Mario the Origami King come in. But as someone who live streamed the game on launch day and has played every day this weekend, I can say this: it is not like the first 2 games. It is not the Thousand Year Door, but it's not trying to be. And unlike Sticker Star or Color Splash, I'm actually really enjoying this one, and I can finally see what Nintendo is trying to do with the Paper Mario series, and I even support it. However, there's just a part of me that still would like some kind of turn-based RPG to come back in the Mario series. I think a great start would be a remake of Super Mario RPG The 7 Stars. I would love to see that. Let me know in the comments below what you're thinking about Paper Mario and what you would think of a remaster of the original Super Mario RPG. That about wraps up the news for today, Monday, July 20th. Please drop a like on the video if you found this video entertaining. It really helps out the channel so much. If you're not subscribed yet, consider subscribing. Definitely feel free to keep coming back if you want to see some more of my videos before you commit to subscribing. You can also look in the description, check out my Pokemon wrap, and see if that will win you over. And that wraps up today's Nintendo News Daily. I've been your host, Jake Randall. I will see you guys all at least 20 minutes before the Nintendo Direct starts. And don't forget, in case you missed the Direct and you want the quick recap, I will have a full video with my thoughts and a discussion on it later. And look out for a potential interview with Kelios, the person who leaked the Nintendo Direct, later this week. Everyone, have a great day. I'll see you in a little bit. Bye-bye.